Hi everyone, welcome to another Change Your Thoughts Today show. My name is Stephen Aitchison. I'm the creator of PositiveLifeAffirmations.net, a program to help you change your beliefs to change your life. Okay, so today what we're going to be talking about is 7 clues that you're having a spiritual awakening. And this is from the blog that I've got over, and it's written by somebody over on the blog from IND5. It's Michelle Walling, who's written this article a while ago. And just when she'd written it, it really kind of resonated with me when I read it, and I'd written a few similar articles as well. But I want to give kind of Michelle the credit for this one. It's a really good article. So first of all, you have to kind of understand what a spiritual awakening is. And really, when we think about it, every kind of new thought that we have, or every thought that we have, is kind of almost a spiritual awakening. We're going from one level to another level in tiny, tiny increments. So we're always kind of on this journey of being more spiritually awake. And it usually happens gradually as we get older. We realise naturally, unconsciously, and consciously as well, that some things are not really important in life. And we spend a lot of energy wasting, or we spend a lot of wasted energy kind of worrying about unimportant things in our life. So when you have that kind of spiritual awakening, as I said, it happens as you gradually get older. But there can be sudden leaps as well. You can get a sudden leap of a kind of a spiritual awakening as well, where you kind of almost go into a different level. And so I want to give you 7 clues and to see if you recognise any of these. I certainly have over the last few years. And it's a constant thing. It's always happening. It's not just something that kind of happens as a one-off and then it's kind of left alone. It's a constant kind of evolution of your spirit as well. So the first clue is we start to really question who we are. It's not like one of those questions like, why am I here? And you just kind of leave it, you don't really think about it. But you really start to question and investigate about who you are as a person, why you're here on this earth. Because a lot of us die without actually knowing why we were put on this earth. And it can be a strange thing when you've been asking that question for yourself for kind of many years. You say, why am I here? What's the purpose? What's the purpose of life? And when you start to really ask that question, really start to investigate, and you really try and find your path in life, that's what it's really all about, finding your path. And it's one, for me, it's been a hard one. It's been a difficult one to kind of think about that question, as I've been thinking about it ever since the age of 11 years old. I remember when I was 11 years old, and this shows you how I wasn't weird, I thought differently from most other kids. So I remember it was pouring down with rain one night. And how do you know these snorkels that you get? These snorkels in the hood come right out to the front and they've got the fur lined. So we called them snorkels. I don't know what they were like in other countries, what they were called in other countries. But it was this big kind of fur jacket and the hood came right out to here. You could hardly see in front of you. And it was peeing down the rain this night. It was pitch black. And I wanted to go a walk in the hills. There was kind of hills where we were, where we stayed. So I went a walk in the hills. I loved just being in the rain, walking on my own. And then I lay back down. I lay on kind of down on the embankment on my back, and kind of looked up and just asked the question, "Why am I here? Why am I here?" And that question has never ever left me. I've constantly asked that question, "Why am I here?" And I've constantly sought the answer to that question as well. But 11 years old, I remember as far back as then just asking that question. And it's a profound thing to ask yourself if you're really serious about change. And I believe I've found my purpose. I believe I know why I'm here now. And it's going to be different for everybody. It's going to be totally different for everybody. So when we start to really question who we are, that is a clue that you're having a spiritual awakening. And number 2, which is kind of linked to number 1 as well, so I'm just going to put this into number 1. We start to question why we're here. So as I said before, why, when you ask yourself the question, why am I here? What am I doing on this earth? What was I put here to do? And when you kind of get to know the answer, that's when you go on to a different level. Your energy changes. Your spiritual energy changes altogether. And I'm just going to make sure, I'm still getting kind of error messages, so I'm just going to make sure everything's working okay. Yeah, it seems to be working okay. Right, okay. I'll continue because I just keep getting error messages I can see on the computer. So we really start to question why we're here. And when you find that answer, when you find the path to answer that question, that's when things really start to change for you. That's when your energy starts to change. That's when the kind of people around about you start to change as well. And we'll go on to that a wee bit later on. That's another clue. The third clue is our lives kind of totally turn upside down. So it's like everything does 180. It flips 180 degrees. So you might be kind of sitting pretty one day and then you kind of have this kind of awakening and then everything flips on its head. And you no longer crave material things, you no longer crave the old things that you used to, you no longer crave that kind of attention or the love or anything like that. Everything just flips because you've changed mentally and physically and spiritually as well. And when you change, it just seems your whole world is in turmoil, but it's for a reason. There's a purpose to that, and the purpose is to actually elevate you to that higher spiritual level that you should be at. And most people get through that once their lives are in turmoil and everything's turned upside down. Most people actually get through it unscathed, and they usually kind of come out at the other end a totally different person with a different outlook on life. They're more positive. Their energy changes. Different people seem to be attracted to them than they were in the past. So it's a different type of energy altogether. So that's another clue that you're going through a kind of spiritual awakening as well. The third clue /4, so we'll say with the third clue, is we begin to experience synchronicities beyond coincidence. So it's like when you're always seeing 11:11. I know Maria's spoken about this, Gina's spoken about this as well, who's on the show just now. When you begin to see this kind of 11, I see 11:11 all the time. I don't know. It's a weird thing, and I kind of tried to dismiss it before, just say it's just coincidence. But it's not. I seem to be, look at today, I seen it on the cooker, just a timer on a cooker. At night when I go to bed, just when I turn to look at the clock, it's 11:11. Just loads of different things. 11:11 is the one I kind of tend to see a lot. So when you get things like that, and when people come into your life unexpectedly, it's an energy that you have that you're drawing people towards you, and you think, oh, that must be a coincidence. But it's not a coincidence if you accept the fact that it's meant to be happening. This is another path you're walking. One time you're walking down this path, next time you're walking down this path. This is the right path that you're walking when you start to see those kind of synchronicities that are happening that is beyond coincidence. So when you start to see signs like that, be aware and be conscious of those little synchronicities, because they can be significant in your life as well. And I think that's one of the big things I've kind of recognised in my life as well, that I've started to listen to the signs. It's not just being aware of the signs, it's starting to listen to the signs as well and just say, okay, why am I being shown this? Why is this happening? Why was this person brought into my life as well? And one of the questions I've asked as well, I don't know if you've asked this, and it might be a strange question to ask as well, is kind of an exercise I used to do, but I can ask it all the time now, is I believe you create your own reality, and we do. There's no question that we create our own reality through our thoughts, our beliefs, our actions, and everything else. But one of the questions I like to play with, and a belief system I like to play with as well, is that I've literally created this world. So when I'm going out driving and saying, okay, why is that person walking down the street? Why did I bring them into my world? Or that building, why did I bring that building into my world? And it's not an egotistical thing. It's just a belief system that I'm playing with, and I've played with for over the years. And it's a good belief system to have as well, because you're always questioning and looking for signs as well. So when you start to kind of adopt or try that belief system on, it's quite a cool technique to use. So when you're walking down the street, why are these people brought into my world? Or why did I bring those people into my world? When you start to do something like that, it really makes you think about the world differently. I don't know if you try that, that's just kind of a bit strange, but it's a cool kind of belief system to try on. Number 5, we lose a lot of people in our life and gain a very few important new relationships. So it's like when your kind of world is turned upside down, you no longer have the energy for the people that you had in your life before. It's not that you don't have the energy, it's your energies are misaligned, so they don't match up anymore. So your energies are no longer matching up, so you kind of drop friends, or they drop you, and you gain new relationships in your life. Important new relationships in your life. And I remember that's around the time, 14 years ago, that's when I met my wife Sharon as well, when I kind of was going through this kind of change and another turmoil in my life as well, and that's when I met my wife Sharon. Significant new relationship, dropped kind of old relationships, and that's just part of life. That's what you do, and that's what we all do. We drop kind of old friends and we kind of gain new friends, and it's part of life. There's nothing wrong with that at all. So that's another sign. That's the fifth sign that you're going through a spiritual awakening. Number 6, the clue for going through a spiritual awakening is we get rid of clutter in material possessions. So we start to realise material possessions don't really do anything for us. They don't, apart from they give us a bit of comfort in some way. It depends on what you're getting. For example, we've got a kind of BMW car. A BMW purely because I kind of always wanted a BMW. It was a symbol for me that I'd kind of made it. And when I got it, I just thought, it's a car. It just gets me from A to B. It's just as good a car as we had as the old car, or the previous car to that as well. Apart from the kind of the old car we had was kind of always breaking down. As long as it's reliable, I just don't mind what car I have now. I've just kind of gotten over that. That was just a symbol that I had, and as soon as that kind of lease is up, or that kind of contract is up, we'll be giving it back and getting a different car altogether. And I don't mind it's going to be a small car, as long as it gets me from A to B. I really don't mind at all. And that is a big shift for me. But that was a pure symbol. And so we go through changes like that as well, where we don't need the material things. We don't need to kind of money grab. We don't need the big house. We don't need stuff like that in our lives. It just clutters up our minds, our energies, and our life as well. So that's another clue that you're going through a spiritual awakening. And is this number 6 or 7? Okay, we'll go for number 6. I think this is number 6. Number 6, the sixth clue is you realise love is a basic building block. That might seem like a big statement to make. Love is a basic building block, but it is. And it's not just about loving yourself. It's not just about kind of loving other people as well. From the heart, deeply loving. You know, when you see on these TV shows and everybody says, oh, I love you, they don't really, it's not love from the real sense of love. But that kind of sense that you love what you're doing as well. You just kind of love life, you love yourself, you love the people in your life as well that you've decided to take into your life or have in your life as well. So it's about loving what you do as well. And that's a big change for me as well. I totally love every single thing I'm doing, the lives, kind of the websites that I build, the products that I make, the people that I meet, all the live events that we have as well. It's just I totally love what I'm doing. And when you realise that it's kind of that's all there really is in life. It's about kind of loving what you do. It's about loving the people in your life as well. And that's a big kind of realisation to have as well. I was going to tell you a story there, but I'm not. I'll just leave that one for now. It might be on another live. And number 7, we become the calm during the storm. So what usually happens is when life is happening all around us and the whole world seems to be going to pot, we are centred. We're centred, we're calm, we're thinking kind of rationally, and we're not thinking with our emotions. We're thinking from a different standpoint. We're thinking from a spiritual kind of point. And we realise that everything that happens in life is meant to happen. So that the place where you're at right now in your life is meant to happen for something to change in your life in the future. So if you think about it that way and you realise everything's temporary, and what you're going through just now, whether it be good or bad, is meant to happen for whatever your path is down the road as well, whatever path you're going to choose. And to a degree, we have a choice in that. There's lots of different paths we make, but I believe we kind of see the paths that we make as well beforehand, and we choose a path accordingly. Unconsciously. unconsciously. If that makes sense, I hope that makes sense, what I'm saying there. So we, in those kind of turmoil kind of times, like back in the US elections, everybody's kind of in turmoil or was in turmoil. For what reason, I don't know. Well, I kind of do know, but I don't, if you know what I mean. But we become the calm during the storm as well. We're centred, we're focused, we know what we're meant to be doing. We know that whatever happens in life, like the US elections, is meant to happen for a reason. And then what we do is we set about asking what the reason is, seeing what we can learn from the changes that are coming. So that is the 7 clues that you're having a spiritual awakening. So I'm going to go to the comments. I don't know if there are any just now because we're having some problem, or I'm having some problems here. Cindy Tim has recognised some points, only thinking too emotional these days. Have to find a new positive energy. That'll come, Cindy. That'll come. And as I said, what you're going through just now is meant to be happening just now for you to get to a different path in the future. Gina Sendef is saying that calm is from faith. It is faith in yourself, faith that you are walking the right path, faith that you're doing the right thing, faith that you're thinking the right kind of things as well. So yeah, definitely agree with that, Gina. Darlene Dawn, so what is it that's happening to me? Honestly, obviously I don't know, Darlene. I don't know your full situation just now, so I can't really answer that, obviously. Donna Adams Bowen, I'll definitely be watching the replay of this today. Thank you very much, Donna. Lisa Shippey is saying I have a long way to go to get to number 7. I think we all do. We all kind of have a long way to go on a lot of these kind of points I've been talking about today, but as long as we're thinking about it, as long as we bring it into a conscious awareness, I think that's when we really start to change. Just 1 wee second. I'm still getting problems with these, just bear with me. Linda Caldwell, love is the word people say and not mean. I do believe that, because that's what I was talking about when you see on the TV shows and everybody says, oh, I love them, and they've only met them kind of 2 days ago or something like that, and they've not formed that deep spiritual connection or energetic connection or anything at all. And it's often a word that's kind of overused but not really, doesn't really mean anything. It's an empty kind of word sometimes. So I definitely know what you mean, Linda. Okay. Robin Savage, everything you just spoke of, I have been experiencing. So that is a good thing, Robin. That's a good thing that you're actually experiencing that, because it means change is coming, but good change as well. So it's exciting. It's exciting. It's kind of feel nervous about it sometimes as well, but it's really exciting times in your life as well. And I hope you see it as exciting as well, Robin. Okay, I'm still seeing problems here, so I do apologise. I'm going to go just now, unless you've got any questions that I can see coming up. I can't see any questions coming up. Hey, we've got Kads Chowdhury on. Kads is somebody I've known for a long time. He's in the personal development space as well. So it's good to have you on the show, Kads. Weird to see you on the show. We've not met up for a while, so we're going to have to meet up. Usually meet up in Edinburgh kind of once a year, but we've not met up this year. But it's good to see you, Kads. It's good to see you on the show. That was a wee shock. That was a wee shock to the system, that. Happy Sean Angelo. Hi, Stephen. Thank you for your words. It helps. Really, it does. God bless Ria from Manila. Thank you very much. Happy. I really appreciate you saying that. Okay. Anella Wetter, sorry. Yes, awareness is the first step. Thank you, Stephen Aitchison. Thank you, Anella, for watching the show. Really appreciate it. That's brilliant. I don't think I'm going to sit back here anymore. It gives me a different type of energy. I think I'll just go back to where I had before, because I'll be closer to you. I don't know what it is. There's something different about sitting over here. So I'm going to change it from tomorrow. I think I'll go back to where I was tomorrow. I'm not as close to you. Okay, with that, I'm going to leave there just now. I hope you have a brilliant day, whatever you're doing. And I'm going to see you tomorrow at the same time, hopefully. And remember, we've got a webinar tonight as well. So if you're interested in kind of growing your online business, growing your audience, and making money from your business as well in a heart-centered way, I'll put a link down below for the webinar as well. It'll be great to see you on there. And it's going to be a last live webinar of 2016. So hope to see you there, and I'll see you tomorrow if I don't see you tomorrow night. Okay, take care and have a brilliant day. Namaste. Bye now.